I love our farmers, our growers, agricultural producers, ranchers.
We're never going to recoup the losses that we've lost under this administration.
What the hell is going on? Our farmers are going bankrupt, but is Washington paying attention?
Provide $12 billion in economic assistance to American farmers. $12 billion is a lot of money.
Yeah, what happened to that $12 billion?
Well, what happened to the $175 billion? Because that's what farmers lost.
We're on Capitol Hill. Your representative, their office is probably in this building that we're standing in. That's why we're here pressing for answers, fighting for farmers like John Boyd. Are you worried about not being in business? Are you worried about losing your farm?
I'm worried about losing my damn history.
Before we came here to Capitol Hill, we went to John Boyd's farm to show you the harsh reality facing American farmers. I'm Angela Brown, and this is What the Hell is Going On. Our team has over 30 years of experience working in MAGA and mainstream newsrooms. Now we are working for you. First of all, John, thank you just for inviting us to your farm here.
Thank you for coming.
How long have you been here? Your family's been here, what, for generations?
For generations, back to slavery, from the Boyd plantation, and that's where we got our name from.
Is your farm struggling right now?
Farm is struggling. The farm is struggling. You know, since the Iran war, the price of fertilizer has risen for about 37%. Farm bankruptcies and foreclosures up 45% since this war began. And diesel fuel, before it started, I could get off-road diesel fuel. That's what farmers use. Mm-hmm. The red dye, diesel fuel is supposed to be cheaper for farmers. I could get that for $3 and some change, and now it's hovering around $6 a gallon.
You talk about the war. Tariffs too hit you hard, right?
Well, we never recovered from the tariffs, and that's what what the president keeps saying is, well, farmers are going to suffer for a short while, and then they're going to recoup and all of this stuff, and we never do. And so he came into office, and agriculture wasn't the best, but it wasn't what it is now. Mm-hmm. And he put tariffs on China, Mexico, Canada, all of the countries that farmers like myself rely on to do trade. Mexico for corn, China for soybeans. And people don't understand that those three commodities, corn, wheat, and soybeans, are all market driven. And I read these comments, boy, why don't y'all just raise the prices, man, so you can make some money? It doesn't work like that. It's market driven. So at the time of harvest, I plant this stuff in the ground, and hopefully by the grace of God, Mother Nature, I make a crop, and then I harvest it. I don't have the storage capabilities, so I am a cash and carry farmer. Load my truck up, that thing back there, and then I take it to the grain elevator, and I have to sell it for whatever market price is.
Right.
So when he put the tariffs in place, the price plummeted, and the markets never really recovered. China never really started buying back again the way that the president said that they were, and all of these things. And it's been a rippling effect after that. He's messed with the beef industry, And you
went to the White House, right?
I tried to go to this administration. This president has had 2 formal meetings for farmers, one in December and one maybe about a month ago. And the White House told me that I couldn't come to the meeting. And historically, I've been meeting with presidents and everybody going back to Jimmy Carter, man, Republican and Democrat. I've always had a seat at the table representing black farmers. Nobody else has had a problem with the Republican or Democrat. This administration said that I couldn't come to the meeting, that they were doing away with DEI, is what they told me. And you can see ain't no DEI on my farm here. Ain't no special hiring, ain't nothing going on out here. Either I can do this or you can't. As simple as that, people. And they said they were moving away from the black farmer issue. That's what they told me. They were moving away from the small farmer issue, and they were focusing on larger scale farmers, Mr. Boyd, who just happened to be white, is what they told me. So they said that...
They just happened to be white.
Yes, they said that large scale farmers just happened to be white, and this has nothing to do with race. These are their policies. I've never heard so much outright, blatant discrimination since I've been doing this kind of work for 43 years, where an administration, a White House official, are saying these things to primarily a black leader, historical black leader, that you can't now, because we're in office, you can't have a seat at the table because you represent primarily black farmers. But I help any kind of farmer, and my work has helped all farmers, from the tobacco buyout, all of these bills that I've been doing for the past 43 years has helped all farmers. When we stopped farm foreclosures under Bill Clinton, it helped all farmers. But now you can't have a seat at the table after you thought you made progress all of these decades, because they said they're moving away and want to focus on large-scale white farmers and corporate farmers. And I don't know why white farmers voted for them 3 times.
Yeah, what happened to that $12 billion?
Well, what happened to the $175 billion? Because that's what farmers lost. They put that number out there. $12 billion sounds like a lot of money.
And that $12 billion we're talking about that they were going to help give to farmers.
Yes, that's a drop in the bucket to what farmers lost in this country. We lost $55 billion due to the president's tariff in just one line item, soybeans. That's it. We lost $55 billion in soybeans. This administration is proposing $12 billion for all of agriculture, for all of the losses. And he wants to make that sound like some big deal. We're never going to recoup the losses that we've lost under this administration. And that's something that, and white farmers know I'm telling the truth. They're going to lose far more than black farmers. They're trying to put us out of business, but they're going to hurt white farmers doing so. This is going to be the largest land exchange deed by deed in America's history. And you heard it from me first. Yes.
What are they trying to do, you think?
A couple of things. They want the bigger man to be bigger, and they want the black farmer out of business. Those are the 2 things that they want to do. And they figure by selling out many of these farmers, who's buying the farms? We're not in financial condition to buy the land. Farmers get raises 2 ways. 1, when they raise the price of the commodity, and 2, when he's able to buy good farm ground adjoining his farming operation, like what I've been doing for 40 years. A farm comes for sale, has good farm ground, and adjoins or it's in your farming footprint. Farmers reach out to lenders to see if they could buy those additional acres. That's how they increase their revenue. Those are the 2 ways. And if you can't do it that way, you won't be in business very long.
Are you worried about not being in business? Are you worried about losing your farm?
I'm worried about losing my damn history, more so than just a farm. When you take a person's farm away, you take away their livelihood, you take away their name. My name's up on that sign right there.
Yeah, it is.
You take away their name, and you take away their history. Many black farmers have cemeteries on their farms where that's where black people were buried. You were buried either on a black cemetery or in a family cemetery on your farm. You're losing your history, your way of life, your culture. So it's just more than just losing the farm. I want people to understand that.
You know people want these beef prices to go down, and the president mentioned buying beef from Argentina.
Yeah.
How does that, I see your herd, what do I call this over here?
This is a herd of cow. Yeah.
So yeah, how does that, was it a good thing for farmers buying Argentina beef? How does it impact you guys?
It was another slap in the face. And I don't know what the president, the relationship, or what kind of deal he's made with the Argentinian president. He gave him $40 billion that should have went to America's farmers who were hurt by his tariffs. So he had already gave Argentina $40 billion to use for whatever. I'm still not clear. To help, he says, agriculture and help farmers in Argentina. And he wasn't helping us here at home. And then he says, you know what? We're going to buy all their beef. We're going to do all this stuff with beef with Argentina. To me, it was a final slap in the face for America's farmers, because what he should be doing is investing in more small-scale farmers and cattle production in the United States. That's how you get the number of beef cattle up, and it's going to take a couple years to do it. So farmers are going out of business, and they're selling their whole herd. So there's nobody coming behind them, raising those additional heads of cattle. So you're taking beef cattle out of production. U.S. farmers are going out of business, and we just can't meet the price and demand in the United States. And that's why you see the price of beef high. It's like basic economics, price and demand, and that's what you're seeing here.
Did this impact you? I don't know what the standing is with Argentina right now. How did it impact you personally?
The whole thing impacts us, because one, you should be focusing on American farmers and keeping small-scale farmers on the farm. So here we are on the brink of going under, and instead of investing in beef cattle in the United States, he's investing in Argentina and giving them taxpayer money on top of that. I mean, how insulting is that, people? And I can't figure out the logic of what the president was doing, other than the guy was some friend to him or something, or believes in some of the political stuff that he's doing. That's not the reason to sell out American farmers, for your politics.
How do you solve the problem in the meantime? Because like you said, isn't cattle at a 70-year low or something like that?
The way to do it is very simple. Is to put more small-scale farmers on the farm, get pasture land like this, and start to increase beef production. A cow has a calf once a year. It's going to take 1 to 2 years to build up America's cattle production if you start right now to do that. But by putting them out of business and raising the price of diesel fuel, raising the price of fertilizer. My pastures haven't been fertilized yet, and they should have been fertilized already.
Let's talk about that, because we have diesel fuel going up, you have fertilizer, and you talk about all this. How is this impacting your farm?
Everything. My grass should be flush green right now, but I haven't put the fertilizer out here. One, I can't afford it, and two, the supply isn't here in the United States. And three, it's up 35%. For me, that's $150 a ton for people who don't understand this, additional cost. And for the good fertilizer, it's $200 a metric ton increase. So here it is, a struggling farmer. You're telling him, oh, I love you and all this stuff, but you're increasing my price of fertilizer by $200 a metric ton for a war, in my opinion, that we didn't need to be in.
Now, kind of explain it to anybody who's watching this. Fertilizer, Strait of Hormuz being closed, how does this all have an impact right here in America?
When they closed that region of the world and that waterway there, we could not get the amount of fertilizer to the United States that farmers depend on every year. Farmers like myself depend on that fertilizer. A farm needs a couple things to make it. You need good fertilizer, and you need a good seed. It doesn't work with one without the other. You need both. I can put the seed out here, but do you have enough fertilizer in the ground to make the crop abundant? There's a small margin of error in agriculture, a thin line of profitability, if you can make it. And you're not going to make it without applying fertilizer, because you're not going to have the yields. So for people who want to understand this, you won't have the cornflakes that you're used to going to and being on the shelf. You won't have wheat that makes your bread that we've. What's happening in America is we are a spoiled country. We've been supplying these things in abundance for so very, very long, and we had enough to exchange with other countries for so very, very long. And now all that is on the brink of disaster because of this war and tariffs.
Now, people say to themselves, people may think, Okay, the price of your fertilizer, diesel, goes up. Why don't you just raise your prices?
You can. I wish I could. And I think, actually, here's a great example. I talked to a lawyer the other week about how to recoup our losses in tariffs. And he asked me the same thing. So here it is, a major lawyer in a law firm did not understand that farming and those major commodities are market driven. We do not control the price. I have to sell my crop for whatever price the market is when my crop needs to come out of the field. So it's not like, oh, I can house it and wait or borrow against it, all this stuff. When that crop has to come out of the field, it has to come off, and then I have to take it to the market and sell it for market price. Market price. I can't say, okay, the price is $10. Well, man, I need 20. I need 20 to make it. It doesn't work like that. You sell it at market price, or you can bring it back home.
So you have to eat the cost, the extra cost for the fertilizer.
Farmers ate the extra cost in this country. When we lost $175 billion in President's tariffs, we ate that cost because we haven't been able to recoup the losses, and the administration wants to put a Band-Aid when we need major surgery. So, you know, he's offering $12 billion, and we lost $175 billion altogether in ag production in this country. As my kids say, Daddy, the math ain't mathing. It's not adding up here. And that's what the American people need to understand. And like I said, we've become a very spoiled nation where these things have been in the supermarket with abundance and ease year after year. And now that all that's in jeopardy for you. And we need to really take a look at what we're doing, else we're going to be dependent on other countries to feed the United States.
So when people go to the store and they pay more for their cornflakes, they shouldn't be looking at you. You ain't.
I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem here. I would like to see more. You know, I'm the guy selling it for less, and you're paying for more at the supermarket. So don't get mad at me, people.
Where is it headed? Like you talk about putting more.
It's heading for a national disgrace in this country. If you can't see that coming down the pike, there's something wrong with everybody watching this show. Because look, you can't keep putting farmers out of business and then you say that it's going to get better in a short period of time. For example, oil, $106 a barrel, or $116 a barrel. The president ridicules us. He says, oh, well, when oil goes up, we make money. Well, who does Sam Elders read when we're facing foreclosure? We're not making any money. So it's the farmer who's first in line to buy the stuff, but we're first in the line to get punched in the face. Farmers buying the gas, we're buying the diesel fuel, we're buying the fertilizer. We are the people that are using these items in a large scale abundance.
Well, this is my final question here. What's the agenda? Is it to large corporations owning farms or have large corporate farms? Do you think that's where it's headed here?
Yes, that's exactly where it's headed here. The big conglomerates are buying land. Corporate America is buying the farmland, and it's going to be a corporate-driven industry. And the farmer is going to have less and less say on how agriculture is run in this country, and that's what's happening. When the war first announced, the agriculture secretary was on a program right before me. She says, "Oh, farmers already got their fertilizer. Well, this war isn't going to affect farmers." And the very person that they say it wasn't going to affect is hurting farmers. High cost of diesel, it's certainly affecting me. High cost of fertilizer, it's certainly affecting me. High cost of seed, $70 a bag. All these things are devastating for farmers.
Why aren't white farmers, why do they still vote? Why are they backing Trump so much? You said we're in Trump country right here.
You are.
Why do they back Trump if their farms are struggling, they're losing money?
I do not know. And that's the problem that I see out here in these red states across the country. Why are you supporting a president that is clearly letting you go out of business? Because there's things that this administration could do. One, they could halt all farm foreclosures. You know, man-made disaster, the president made it. Why not halt farm foreclosures for USDA, private lenders, and banks? The same way they bail out these companies and say nobody can come after them for a period of time, they should provide that same buffer for America's farmers. So don't tell me that they can't do stuff to help. They're choosing not to, and they're choosing to let farmers go out of business so that the bigger boys can get a bigger stake in American agriculture, and that's what's going on in this country. They don't want small farmers out, and they sure don't want black farmers out here.
So what are these white farmers telling you? You ever hear from them why they still support this
They're
man?
saying, well, you know, we're gonna hurt for a little while, but the president gonna help us. They really believe that the stuff he says, that he really loves them and they're gonna help them. You know, and I hope that there's another candidate that comes forward with enough guts, tenacity, and fight in them to take on some of these policies that this administration has put in place to hurt America. Let's take it a step further. Look what this administration has done in race relations in this country. They've done away with voting rights. We had a $300 million grant that allowed black farmers and other farmers of color to purchase land. This administration put a halt, a freeze, and done away with any type of grant and federal assistance for black farmers. They completely done away with it. And they keep saying it's not about race. Then why do it by race then, you know? And you have to ask the question. He says it's never about race, but he brought in white farmers from South Africa.
I was going to ask you about that. What is the deal with these white farmers from South Africa?
Well, it's a race thing to me. It is a race thing, not just to me, it is period, because you brought a population of people in from South Africa. You mean to tell me, I've been to South Africa. You mean to tell me you can't find a black farmer in South Africa to help? They brought them all into this country based on race, white. They use trickery language that this administration is great at. Oh, Afrikaners. No, they're white farmers. They brought them in solely by race, and then they said, you know what, board? We're going to do away with your population based on race. Okay, so you won't be able to get this grant now because they said that's race-based at $300 million. They said we're doing away with that because that's DEI. But you want to bring in a white population. I call that DEI. You know, where the black people at in that population. So on one hand, they said they want to do away with race, but it looks to me that the race that they're interested in helping are white men. You know, not just white population, but specifically white men that this administration looks to help. They don't even like women. I sincerely believe that.
They must hate to see you coming.
Well, you know, it's to me, I'm for right and wrong, and I've never sued any administration to say that white farmers shouldn't get anything. Not in my 43-year career. I've never said that they shouldn't get a loan. I never said any of those things. I simply said two words, same as. If they can get a loan and subsidy, then black farmers should be able to get the same as too in the same time period as anybody else. That's it. And that's it. And when you look at the numbers, we are not getting it, we were not getting it, and we're still not getting it, you know, here in the year 2026.
And it's important to point out, you've been critical of Democratic administrations as well.
Yes, they can't say, you know, this is just a Democrat thing, boy, just fighting. I'm not, because I clearly challenged Biden, I challenged Clinton, I even challenged Obama, who was a friend, to do better on these issues, you know. For example, when we were able to get the Board Claims Remedy Act passed in 2010, President Obama could have done that by executive order. You see how this president does everything by executive order? Or he does it and it signs that big Donald on it and holds it up and lets you see it. He says, see this? I'm doing this by executive. President Obama could have done that by executive order, but I had to go to Congress to get it done. which took me 10 years. And he was the lead sponsor as a U.S. Senator. Before he became president, my lead sponsor in the Hill was former President Barack Obama, and the number 2 guy was Joe Biden. I didn't know either one of them was going to be president. So both of those were lead sponsors on my bill. And then after it passed, President Obama kind of moved a little slow on it, so I had to push him. And then we got it done through Congress. And then they said, you know what? Although it's approved, we don't have the money to pay this. So I had to go back to Congress for 2 more years and get the money appropriated. So I had to pass 2 separate bills just to get the late filers done. So they always make it hard for black people. And they say these settlements like, oh, this just happened. It didn't just happen. Man, it took me a long time to get it to get it done. And that bill passed by unanimous consent, which nobody voted against it, because it was a clear right and wrong issue, people, where, man, the government was dogging black farmers, and it took too long to right the wrong there, in my opinion.
You just heard from John. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Is the American government doing enough for our farmers? And also subscribe. I'm Angela. This is What the Hell is Going On. We have more than 30 years of experience in broadcast journalism. Now we are fighting for you.